Okay, so processing speed. Let me ask you a question. Which is easier, going fast or going slow? And if you have a think about it, you can probably tell that that's actually a trick question because everyone has their own natural speed, and to go faster than your comfortable speed is more difficult and takes more energy. And also, to go slower than your natural speed also is more difficult and takes more energy. So today I wanted to explore that a little bit, and I love my analogies, so I'm going to give you one that I hope can help people to get a grip of what I'm actually talking about, and then I've got a couple of examples of how that's played out for me. So I think it's pretty easy to see how pushing yourself to go faster can be more difficult and take more energy. But for me, actually, most of the time the opposite is true. Trying to go slower is very, very difficult. And this means that I often have trouble sort of keeping up with everyone else because they're going too slowly, and it's hard for me to do that. So to give you an example, like imagine you're going on a 10K hike. That's a pretty mild walk at a reasonable pace. That might take 2 hours, 2 hours to walk 10K. So that's not too bad. But imagine if you had to walk at 1 kilometer an hour instead of 5 kilometers an hour. All of a sudden, you have to walk for 10 hours straight to get to the same distance. So that's kind of what it feels like for me a lot of the time, because at my natural speed, I would get to the end without too much trouble. But if I have to match the speed of everyone else, I just don't have the endurance to walk 10 kilometers at 1 kilometer an hour. So my analogy is of riding a bike when everyone else is walking. It's really, really difficult to ride slow enough to keep up with everyone who's walking, because the natural speed of a bike is just so much faster than the natural speed of walking. So one of the challenges on a bike is that the difference between stop and start is quite binary. You can't really just go slower and slower and slower until you stop. There has to be a point where you're completely stopped or completely going, and it's really hard to transition that boundary. So that's why, for me, stop-start things are quite difficult. I would rather just do it all in one go so that I don't have to stop, because if I go too slowly, I might as well stop. So I'm quite a visual person, so I've drawn a little diagram that I hope might explain things a little bit. Haha, can you see that? So basically, imagine I'm going along a bike path and there's a sign that says turn right. Bikes can't pivot. They change direction, but they can't just instantly change direction. It depends on how fast you're going. If I'm going really, really quickly, it takes time to change direction. So instead, when I'm on a bike, what I have to do is to come to a complete stop and sort of shuffle the bike around into the right direction and then go again in the right direction. So there's no pivoting on a bike. It also means that sometimes the easiest way for me to do something is the long way, because I don't want to carry my bike up the stairs. I want to go the long way all the way up and down the ramp. So that's my analogy, trying to keep up with people walking when you're actually on a bike. And so how this has played out in my life so far, you can imagine that school was mind-numbingly boring because I wanted to go so much faster, but we were going so painfully slowly that I just couldn't keep interested. When I got to university, I studied aerospace engineering, and my subjects got all out of order because I took 6 months to do an overseas exchange program. So when I got back, there was a subject that I wanted to do, flight mechanics, and it required me to have done third year thermodynamics, but I'd missed out on that because I hadn't even done second year thermodynamics. So instead, I just skipped the prerequisite and did third year thermodynamics instead of second year. And of course, they made me go back and do second year after I'd done third year. That was a waste of time. And then when I got to the workplace, it was common to be paid by the hour instead of getting paid for what you actually accomplish. So going back to this hiking example, if I walk 10 kilometers in 2 hours, I only get paid for 2 hours. If someone else takes 10 hours to walk 10 kilometers, then they get paid for 10 hours. And all of a sudden, I've got nothing else to do. So what I would rather do in my ideal world is walk for 2 hours and rest for 8 hours. That's what I need, because I don't have the endurance to walk for 10 hours, but I do have the speed to get it done quickly and then take a break. That's why I love being efficient. It's why I love my routine. It's why I don't like having to do things the really painfully slow way, because it takes a lot more energy than I have, and then I run out of energy and then bad things happen. Okay, so I might leave it there. That's been today's Asperger's analogy of riding a bike when everyone else is walking. So you can see that the main difficulty that causes is it's difficult to stay with the group. It's difficult to do things with other people at the same rate as other people, because it's very tiring to do things more slowly when my natural speed is more than that. So I hope that made sense. I've got a couple of other Asperger analogies, so I'll try and make some more videos soon. Okay, thanks for watching, and I'll see you another time.